Hello everyone, I'm Raven from Raven Comics, and today we will continue with the story of Doomsday Clock, where Ozymandias will reveal his entire plan and explain how he manipulated everything. We begin with Batman, who is inside a military base. He arrived just in time to stop the launch of a missile. The president had declared that without Superman, America needs to rely on its more traditional deterrence against foreign threats. The gang war between the Joker and two unknown players has erupted throughout Gotham City. Protesters have been dispersed due to a mandatory curfew. Inside the military base, Batman destroys the controllers so that no one can launch anything else. If you are reading this now, whether I am alive or dead, you will know the truth. Whatever the exact nature of this conspiracy, Adrian is responsible. I have done my best to make this readable. I think it shows a disturbing scene. I appreciate your recent support and hope the world survives long enough for this to reach you. But there are tanks east of Berlin, and they have written on the wall. As for me, I regret nothing. I lived my life free of compromise, and I went into the shadows without complaint. Rorschach's Journal, November 1st, 1985. It was Alfred who was reading Rorschach's journal. Back with the bat, military reinforcements have arrived, and now he seems a little trapped. The news is broadcasting updates. There has been no sign of the Justice League since they left for the planet Mars. Putin prepares to send the Peoples, America's heroes, to capture Superman if the United States refuses to hand him over. The outsiders of Markovia have allied with Russia. The National Guard has arrived in Gotham City, not to suppress the violence, but to arrest Batman. He has been accused of treason after leaving dozens of American soldiers injured, some of them severely hurt. Later, we move to Wonder Woman, who is standing before the United Nations. Suddenly, Black Adam arrives with his metahumans. Thanks to the tremendous Wonder Woman, who has prepared herself against the evil leader of Kondak and his many metahumans, everything has gone relatively well. Black Adam is a major terrorist threat to the world, but America must win. The bigger they are, like Giganta, the harder they fall. Everything was going well for Wonder Woman, but things suddenly get complicated. She is struck by a powerful lightning bolt. This was the work of Black Adam. Why is Black Adam attacking Wonder Woman and the UN? Well, because they are descendants of those who enslaved his people, those who violated and murdered so many Amazons. She is only fighting for the privileged, and Diana has yet to realize it. Black Adam fights for the oppressed. He needs to know right now which side Wonder Woman will be on. Meanwhile, the president receives new intelligence. They have tracked dozens, perhaps hundreds, of metahumans gathering in Kondak. These metahumans come from all over the world. The Superman theory. The kidnappings of metahumans by governments and traffickers. This is those people. Kondak is their only option, and here they are safe. Black Adam is the one protecting them. The president must reconsider the following: their stance on whether or not to acknowledge the work of Professor Martin Stein. If they tell the world that they are responsible for a percentage of America's superheroes and supervillains, they might restore faith in at least some of them. But with their nuclear systems down, they have no defense. Warships are patrolling the Mediterranean searching for any sign, but they don't know the precise location of the island, nor the true intentions of the Amazons. Meanwhile, on the Amazons island, the Oracle has predicted that Diana will be gravely wounded in combat if she continues. She will fight to stay, but this is for her protection. The Amazons will not seek retribution against Black Adam. It is not in their way. For now, they cannot do much. Saving the rest of the world from itself is not their mission. Putin has given the United States a deadline. By midnight tonight, they must hand over Superman. While all of this is happening, we now go to Lex Luthor, who is with Lois Lane. A few weeks ago, Lex was intercepted by someone claiming to be from another Earth. He wasn't the first Lex had seen, of course. Then someone shot at Lex, someone he assumes was from that same parallel world, since they seemed to know each other. The man who came to speak to him called himself Ozymandias. He boasted about having created an alien invasion, the illusion of a common enemy that killed millions but united the planet. In the end, his actions were exposed. His world fell into nuclear war. So he came here seeking the only being from his Earth he believed had the power to save this one. He was desperate to find Dr. Manhattan. Meanwhile, elsewhere, the Man of Steel has just awakened after receiving the massive blast from Firestorm. On the other hand, Ozymandias is observing all the news. A metahuman military army inside Kondak has caused the destruction of the pyramids. It is suspected that the destruction of Flash's world was provoked by metahumans. Someone speaks to Ozymandias. He was the one watching all this. Saturn Girl tells him that he once said he felt as though they were the only two people in the world when they were alone. She wanted him to be in this world, a world to remember. Ozymandias tells her yes, a world to remember. That's what they all hope for. But in reality, this world needs a hero. They need someone to stop it from falling apart. Ozymandias moves to one of his cells. Inside are Saturn Girl and Thunderbolt. Ozymandias asks Saturn Girl a question. What does she want? What she wants to know is why she cannot read his mind. The world is ending, and he has a chilling smile on his face. Elsewhere, inside one of Lex Luthor's secret bases of operations, he has something to show Lois Lane. Have you ever heard of Carver Coleman? He was an actor who was murdered in 1954. The case was never officially solved. Carver Coleman's estate was put up for sale. His belongings were sold to collectors, passing from hand to hand over the years. One of those things now belongs to Luthor, a photograph. According to the inscription on the back of the photo, Lex Luthor believes the name of the man is John, and the photo was found on April 18, 1938. He has been tracking anomalies since he was a child. He tested many things over the years. The existence of aliens, as she already knows. The threat from Nibiru, which he saved the world from. But the story behind this photo eluded him. 2 years ago, he began tracking abnormal chronal energy spikes. They had been increasing in power and frequency, leading him to believe that something was trying to enter their world from beyond. Every second is a gift. He heard a warning about someone who altered reality. And there he was, in front of Barry and Wally. But the flashes weren't the source of the anomaly pulling at them. There, lying in the grass, was a photograph. That photo, somehow, was connected to the rebirth of Kid Flash. He found chronal residue in the area, including the recording he had sent her, along with other personal artifacts connected to Wally West. Evidence that their reality had been altered. But it was this photograph that was the true anomaly. He has found them all over America. Mostly, the one was recovered by his team in the Congo just days ago. Each one is absolutely identical in every way. According to the sequence he has pieced together, the one he holds is the first, from 1938. But look, the suit John is wearing is actually from a later time, the 1950s. Which means this photo has been traveling through time. Well, not really these exact photos. It seems they are being left behind by someone, like a trail of breadcrumbs scattered throughout much of the last century and into this one. And why are they being left here? Well, Lex believes that person is not even aware they are doing it. But whoever they are more powerful than anything he has ever faced. Now we are with Dr. Manhattan. As the end draws near, things begin to focus. It is March 30th, 1981 in this world. A drifter, John Hilker Jr., attempts to assassinate Ronald Reagan. The president's blood falls onto the sidewalk as his lung collapses. In 4 hours and 17 minutes, this street will be rubble. And Dr. Manhattan will speak to Superman for the first time. We are with the Man of Steel, who was preparing to leave this place. At that moment, the military arrived for him. By order of the President of the United States, they asked him to come peacefully. Superman raises his hands. He doesn't want any trouble. On the other hand, we are with Ozymandias, who is speaking with Saturn Girl. He tells her that Superman doesn't even know he exists, that she has come from the future to warn Superman about things he doesn't understand. He tells her one thing: she will never see Superman again. Saturn Girl tells him a truth he cannot believe. He will never be able to destroy Superman if that is what he is planning. Adrian was honest. He was loyal, and he had learned the greatest lesson of all. It's not about who wins or who loses, but how you play the game. He is counting on the Man of Steel to survive whatever comes his way. Meanwhile, elsewhere, we are with the new Rorschach, who is having a nightmare about his father and the old Rorschach. At that moment, Alfred wakes him up. He has already read the journal. He regrets not believing him before, but now he does. Bruce asked him to help find Ozymandias, to prove Superman's innocence, to prevent him from doing to their world what he did to his own. Alfred hopes he is all right, and he has brought him some food, a few pancakes. Rorschach gets upset. He says Alfred put him in prison, left him to rot. At this moment, he is no longer Rorschach. and he is going to leave. Alfred asks him to wait, saying they want to help him. Meanwhile, in the streets, Mime and Marionette have joined the chaos, and Ozymandias continues telling his plan. His original idea was to find Dr. Manhattan, to convince him to return to his Earth so he could save it from nuclear annihilation. But he knew that after their argument, before he disappeared, John would never listen to him again. So he focused on them. Their child was born in the prison hospital. He promised to reveal where the child had been taken if they came with him to confront John. He pulled their strings. He needed them because of their past experience with Dr. Manhattan. John was responsible for their imprisonment. Everyone believed he had hesitated to kill Marionette because she was pregnant. But he knew that in the past, John had seen the comedian shoot and kill a pregnant woman and had done nothing. Over the years, John revealed to him that he had seen the future of Marionette's child. That child would be adopted by a couple and bring incredible joy to a woman who had once been very important to John in his life. That woman was Hollis. He hoped that by seeing Marionette, John would remember the family he chose to protect, granting Marionette a mercy she certainly did not deserve. And how did he manage to free them and bring them here? Well, he had another puppet, an easier one to manipulate. His name was Reggie Long. He mistakenly believed that Rorschach had been a friend of his father, Dr. Malcolm Long, because Brian Lewis had torn out the pages of Dr. Long's report detailing the dark turn in his relationship with Kovacs. As the new Rorschach, Reggie came after him, blaming him for the death of his parents, but found him dying of cancer. A facade he maintained until John exposed the truth. Reggie believed he was overwhelmed with guilt and shame from the tragedy of New York. He gathered Mime and Marionette, and once he redesigned Night Owl's ship, he turned it into a temporal sphere. Whatever you want to call it, it blocked John's signal. And while missiles fell around his world, they made their way into this universe. Poor Reggie, he had no idea he was wearing the mask of the man who destroyed his parents, working for the man who manipulated him just as Byron had, unknowingly. And arriving in this strange, colorful world, it was here that he realized John had traveled to a place both special and horrifying. A world of extremes, impossible to reconcile, one full of hope and, at the same time, despair. A schizophrenic society overflowing with superpowers and costumes. John refused to help them, obsessed with an imminent confrontation with Superman that would lead either to his own destruction or to that of this universe. But it was clear why John had ventured to this place, to be among his own kind. He refused to help, believing that a confrontation with Superman would lead to his own erasure or that of this world. So Ozymandias came up with a new plan, one to save both worlds. The world's belief in Superman held it together like a rope and a rubber band. For things to change, they first had to fall apart. And what if he could turn the world against Superman? In his search, he discovered that this Superman theory was in fact partially true. After Superman's arrival, the US government had begun experimenting in an attempt to create its own metahumans. These confidential programs were led by Professor Martin Stein, who later caused the accident that bound him with the student Ronald Raymond, turning them into Firestorm. Raymond's psychological profile revealed him to be deeply emotional and insecure, a person who could be manipulated, just as Stein had done. After leaking this information to Firestorm's Russian counterpart, Pazar, he placed Raymond under increasing media pressure. In the end, Superman went to Moscow to intervene, defending Firestorm in hopes of saving lives. Then, Bubastis helped create a small detonation. People died, and Superman was blamed for protecting Firestorm. He wanted the metahumans, who would undoubtedly investigate quickly, to know that the explosion was not Firestorm's fault. The heroes of this Earth traced that energy, not to Bubastis, but to Dr. Manhattan, resulting in a battle that removed all of Superman's metahuman allies. Everything indicates that the stage is set. As the midnight deadline to surrender Superman approaches, Putin's metahuman forces have gathered in Red Square to honor the fallen. The Amazons stormed the United Nations and kidnapped Wonder Woman in the middle of battle, leaving no one to stop Black Adam. Elsewhere, the US president's helicopter is ready. They need to get him to safety. The president does not want to leave. It isn't safe out there. And he is right. Black Adam has arrived with his metahumans to destroy the helicopter. Black Adam stands before the cameras. He must deliver a message to all metahumans. The revolution is now. They must come and join him. It is time to free this world from slavery. Superman arrives before Black Adam. He is still catching up, but he knows enough to realize this has gone too far. Black Adam also gives the Man of Steel a chance. He can join them. He can stand with them. And now they are all in front of the cameras, united by what seem to be metahumans tied to the Superman theory. Back with Saturn Girl. She tells Ozymandias that Superman is going to stop him. She has seen the future, and it exists thanks to Superman. Ozymandias tells her that if Superman is so important to her existence, then she must let him ask one thing. Does Superman even remember her? Well, no. The truth is he doesn't. Something begins to happen to Saturn Girl. Ozymandias has the theory that she no longer belongs to this timeline, and she never realized it. This world is about to become a tomb. That tomb will be a monument. Smoke begins to rise from her ring. Now he tells this old man to stop crying. It's part of the past, and the past will not be erased. Suddenly, Superman takes a hard blow from Black Adam, which sends him flying far away. That will lead him, in 6 seconds, to face Dr. Manhattan. After moving forward, Superman is face to face with Dr. Manhattan. It is now. It is Superman. It is him. It is them. It is the world. It is the moment. The time has come. I am not afraid of making a mistake, even a great mistake. A lifelong mistake, and perhaps one that lasts as long as eternity. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more content like this. I'm TJ Prime, and see you in the next video.